Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
We live? Let's get it going then.
Fighting out of the south.
Yeah.
Standing at 6'2", 190.
We live? It's the code. Let's go.
I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with real life. I seen a couple people try and it ain't even pretty. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it end with me. It can end quickly. In the way I level up, I make them spin differently.
Yeah. We here, we live. Let's go. That's how you get the live going, man. Let's go, man. Put a 333 in the chat if you with me, man. What's up? Oh, my dog in here. 333. What's good? Yes, sir. I feel amazing. You know what I mean? You feel me? We recording this through the wire. Check it out, man. It's Classic with the Classic Codes. Welcome to Classic Live Show, man. I got a great show put together for y'all. We finna have a hell of a lot of fun for the next couple hours, man. Yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and drop comments, man. Dive into the chat and drop comments as we go along so we can have a conversation because we got to crack these codes. But today on the agenda, man, let's go down the line. We got a reaction video sent in by the Correct Me If I'm Wrong podcast. Shout out to Mr. McBride. We got a reaction video called Are Women Naturally Chaotic? I haven't watched it at all, so we'll do an authentic stop and go reaction on that live, you know what I'm saying, to kick things off. And then after the reaction video, we got the question of the day. The question of the day, I'll reveal when we get to it. If you haven't seen if you ain't look at the thumbnail, I'll reveal the question of the day later. And then we got the code language conversation always. And then depending on where we at with it and how everybody feeling, I'll take call in. So yeah, we live, dog. I feel amazing, man. Yeah, we got a dope reaction. I wonder what this about. This a podcast I ain't never looked at either, so we're gonna see what it is. But hold on, right back though, real quick. Yeah. All right. I ain't on that. I don't want no monetization issues. We on that now. But yeah, without further ado, man, let's get into the reaction video, man. Let's see what's good.
Hit the like button. Man. Y'all threw me for. I had to change the title.
I just saw that.
Let's keep it tall though, right? How wrong is this?
She don't have talking points.
About what? About which point? Because
women being.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know in the door. This normal for me for this podcast. I'm gonna put they link inside the credits in my description. I always give credit to the people I do reactions to. I'm finna speed this up. This is normal for me. No disrespect to y'all podcast. I'm finna speed this up though. We're gonna go at least 1.25 and maybe we're gonna go 1.5. They seem a little laid back. Let's roll.
Chaotic as hell.
nobody said we already went through this. Yeah, we can't do that.
Let me list it, right? Because there's been a lot of talking. Lady Di, what's up? So women are chaotic, indecisive, double-minded, push boundaries, shit test men. Are all those things more true than not?
Yeah.
What you say, Nate?
Yeah. I don't look. I know myself. When y'all said double-minded, I was like, oh shit. I knew that was me right away because I'm very indecisive. Yeah, but yeah. So
Alexis, what's popping? What you think? Everything I named, is she wrong?
I mean,
Be honest.
no, I mean, wrong is strong.
Wrong is the right
She
word.
wrong, right? Or is it minority? She wrong?
I mean, look, she's not wrong, but she ain't right either. Okay, she's not
I'm
wrong.
gonna tell you right now.
That's double-mindedness.
Right,
Answer
thank you.
Answer the question.
No,
Go ahead, Tech.
I just proved it. Thank you. She just said my double-mindedness.
That was double-mindedness right there. So it's
Right.
Okay, so off the rip, the question was posed. You had one woman willing to answer the question semi-honestly, and then you had another woman who just, having the darndest truth, confessing, the answer that she knows is correct out loud. She's having a hell of a time to just being able to say it. It's already been laid on the table by another woman. She's even having a hard time echoing the sentiment at this point in time. The question, though, the way it was posed was it was loaded to one side. I mean, you still could answer it how you want to answer it, but the question was kind of prefaced from a biased standpoint, in my opinion. And shout out to This Might Be Risky podcast. That's the name of this podcast, is This Might Be Risky. But yeah, let's see what else they got to say. Let's see if somebody got any strong takes. I don't know if we're gonna get all the way through this one though, so far.
She ain't wrong, but she ain't right either.
So now give me a real answer. Now that we have correction for the double-mindedness.
I mean, I'm gonna say she's not wrong for the fact that the type of man that she's described is an archetype. I know that man. I got my dad similar to that man. I got uncles and older brothers and cousins and folks. So I know that's that type of man. But that's it.
And what type of man?
As far as like a man, when I think of a man, I think of him like that don't want to hear any nagging, that does like to do projects, likes to solve projects or issues, like that type of stuff. I can see that.
Let me ask you a question. Is Des wrong, or is she more right than she is wrong? I don't want to hear about what
he is right.
She's more wrong.
Like nah, but I'm saying,
Alexa, you have to answer the question.
Okay, I am.
But see, I have to tell her. I have to tell her the answer. Okay.
She's right.
She's right. Okay.
She's right, but it doesn't mean she ain't wrong.
You know what? Mute yourself.
I think it shows a
name on it. Thank you. They got my back. Nah, but I'm saying it's I don't think she's wrong when she describes the aspect of me.
Okay. All right, y'all. We finna abort mission on this one, y'all. We ain't getting all the way through this one. I got a backup. Don't worry about it, y'all. I got a backup reaction video. It's a surefire, never miss, can't lose. You know what I'm saying? I've got a backup because I ain't really feeling how they conversation flowing. And then they referencing something that's not in the edit of the video. They should have shown what Dez said in the edit, because they picking up what they left off in a conversation that we haven't heard. So that's kind of crazy. That's nasty work. But I got a backup for us. So nevertheless, we gonna move along. We live. Yup. Lord no. Yeah.
I don't like the way so.
Yeah. Yep. We good now. We good now. Hey, y'all know when I start smiling, you know where we headed. Hold on. Let me get right. Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. We sliding over to River TV. She gonna say today, we're gonna do a live reaction video. We're going to do a live reaction on this River TV. She covering LeBron James' response to Kevin Gates talking about Savannah James. So let's have some fun, man. Let's roll. Hold on. Let me get right. I don't need to take up this much of the screen with River. She can have some of the screen. Yes, Lord. Let's go.
I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. I love LeBron and I hate that for him, bro. I hate that he got to go through that.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Riva, and I'm back again with another video. So if you are unaware at all, rapper Kevin Gates actually ended up calling out Savannah James, LeBron James' wife, in a recent live stream that he did. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the entire situation. I'm going to go ahead and press play, pause play, and give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions on this entire situation.
This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at like couples and people in the league. And we were talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I noticed that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play with him? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron.
Okay, so before we continue, this one little snippet, we're going to play the whole conversation, but this little snippet is what has the internet in an uproar, right? Because it's like no Savannah, backlash, negative commentary, slander will ever be tolerated, because she is the one that we look at and say, we are so proud of you. Okay, we haven't seen her humiliating this man. We don't see her dressing a certain way. We don't see her out here in the streets trying to live a city girl lifestyle. We don't see it. Okay, what we see is a wife, a mother, and somebody who exudes class and elegance. And so immediately, regardless of what he was saying, everybody was completely turned off by this comment.
I like the way them white women look at LeBron. Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh, they be out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you. Like,
what's wrong with him, man? By the way, Kevin Gates, my favorite rapper. Hold on, let me catch up on comments before I give my commentary. He said, "What's good, bro? What up, Mr. McBride?" He asked me, can they stop me from playing my music? It depends. Those were covers, so it depends. You know what I mean? I don't want to risk it though. And then he said, my attention span, Pelican brief. It didn't seem like that conversation they was having was going to get any more interesting, man. I had to call an audible on the play. This live. If it was pre-recorded, that's different. You know what I mean? Because I could chop it down and shorten it up. But since we rolling live, you know what I mean? We gotta get the people what they want. Shout out to whoever just joined in 333 in the chat. If you feeling that energy, let's go.
Right.
Oh, but as far as what Kevin Gates talking about, I seen the slow-mo video of the young Caucasian woman that I think inspired this rhetoric in the way she was looking at LeBron. And listen, she was looking at him like a plated hot, warm version of whatever her favorite meal was. She definitely was looking at him like that. But I can't lie and say I ain't never seen Savannah look at LeBron with reverence either. You know what I mean? So I don't know if this was trolling or I feel like it was trolling. Matter of fact,
I'm the greatest player in the world. One of them. Like top 5, top 10. I'm one of them.
Okay, so what he's saying here is that he notices that when LeBron James is around fans, okay, fans that come to his game, specifically he's talking about some white women. I don't know if it's because of certain videos that have been going around on social media, but he's noticed that all of these other women are looking at him in a certain admiration. I actually ended up seeing this video, so I figured maybe he's talking about something along the lines of this, right? And so we can see that these women are like, gushing over him, showing him a lot of love and admiration. And, there has been a couple of times in the media where LeBron James has been there with Savannah and she has, he's gone to do the handshake that he normally does with her. And she kind of, was kind of like not really about it, kind of hesitant to even do it. Or times that people have, caught her having maybe an off day or a nasty attitude towards him. And so he's saying that based on that, he would not want to, quote unquote, switch places with him because his woman, his wife, his queen does not show him, a certain amount of admiration that other women out there are actually showing him. Right. So it's like the equivalent of a boss being a CEO of a company and every woman who works at the company is showing this man love and admiration. When he goes home, he's dealing with a woman who treats him however. And so Kevin Gates was basically alluding to that.
And I'm in the playoffs and you act like the warden of the jail. Like you came here to police me. Like you ain't like you not out like these white women this out about me in here.
What is he talking about? So all right, so pretty much so Savannah can't be normal in public. She his wife 100% of the time, every day out the year. These women you see around him, they acting like that or behaving like that because they get to be around him. How often? Maybe once in their life or the owners and stuff like that. They see him often, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's kind of different. Like, you got to be realistic. A woman that's dealing with you every day, and then you got a busy schedule. She probably got to be at certain things. Y'all caught her with the stoic face on. You don't know what that was. It might not have nothing to do with LeBron. We just like For him to say that, he just trolling. G, I can't say nothing else. He trolling.
Like, so, like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, bro. Because when I've been around that dude just, his spirit so loving and giving, it hurt me. It hurt me to see that. Like, you done eject away from my partner, man. Don't do that, man. You dive on the floor behind that, man. Dive on the floor behind it. But, you know, like, I know a lot of people gonna hate what I just said, but I'm gonna be honest. Like, if everybody like me, then I'm so we can do whatever you want to do about it. I'm about everything I.
Hold on, we got comments. Mr. McBride said Gates bogus. They've been together since high school. How she supposed to look at him like she just met him? Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, like what we talking about? Like, she not finna light up she see him every day, bro. Like, I get it though. Like, you do want to feel that admiration. I don't care if we've been together 200 years. I don't care if we was together, if we was married in the jungle in our past life, and we didn't met back up for this one. I don't care. I do wanna feel that, but do it got to be 24/7, 100% of the time with the cameras on? Like, come on, man, you asking for a lot.
I say so. I love LeBron and I hate that for him, bro. I hate that he got to go through that.
So I do think that what he's saying, I don't think that he was just saying this just to say it. I think that this is generally how he feels, right? A lot of people may not agree with it, don't like it, whatever, but I generally do think that this is how he feels. The problem is that, you know, when there's a lot of people in the space, a lot of women in the space that have embarrassed their husbands, right? Like, completely embarrassed them. You know, obviously we know that Steph Curry's wife, Aisha Curry, you know, she went out and talked about she don't have no men looking at her and she wished that she did.
Like, the past 10 years, like, I don't have any of that. Like, I have zero, this sounds weird, but like, male attention.
Diabolical work. What are we doing? Are you kidding me?
Natural born crash dummy. And he go crash out.
Diabolical work. What are we doing? Oh, that's your bride?
I don't want it, but it'd be nice to know that, like, someone's looking.
That was completely embarrassing towards him. We have other women who go out and try to, you know, cling to the streets. You know, there is a certain admiration that a lot of people have for Savannah James. So from what I'm taking of what he says, and I love Savannah, okay? I love the way that she portrays herself. I don't know her personally. If she come out and say something crazy tomorrow, I'm gonna talk about it. But I like the way that she carries herself, and I think that, again, she exudes a certain amount of class and elegance, and she looks like a woman that could be a positive role model to, you know, younger girls based off of, again, just the way that she carries herself, being in the seat that she's in with her husband. And, you know, but what Kevin Gates is saying is along the lines of, you know, there should not be a space where other people can tell that there's any kind of disdain that you are having, you know, in your relationship with your husband, right? There should never be a chance for people to even pick out certain situations, you know, regardless of what it is, keep it behind closed doors so nobody could even allude to the fact that you even possibly have a lack of respect for him. Now, I just feel like nobody's perfect. Okay. I feel like, you know, yes, there have been a couple, you know, things that have circulated where it has showed that she's not happy, but that's the reality of a relationship. Everything's not going to be perfect and peachy keen all the time. Have we ever seen her verbally disrespect him? Have we ever seen her put her finger in her face? No, we haven't. We've seen her maybe have a little bit of a dismissive demeanor here and there, or, you know, not be as, you know, giddy. But I think that majority of what we see is her being supportive. Majority of what we see is her with a smile on her face and showing a loving nature towards her husband. That is what we see the majority of the time.
As a man, I hate that he got to go through that, bro. In the playoffs.
Hold on. I ain't want to cut River work off. She cooking. She always be cooking. Hold on. What Mr. McBride say? What we got? He said that shit Mrs. Curry did was fucked up. She got to go when the kid's old enough. Damn. You say he playing the long game? It's still going to cost him, though. I bet you he ain't got no paperwork on her. That's going to hit them pockets, dog. I mean, you gotta ask yourself, you got to weigh that up.
Playoffs. In the playoffs. Your main player. Act like it just, you have a look on your face like, I could be doing more. Like, what more? Like, I loved you for you. Like, when I met you, you look like Lamar Odom. Like,
he said I ain't see that coming, G. What the he said, what up at you? I loved you for you. What up at you?
Act like it just you have a look on your face like I could be doing more. Like what more? Like I loved you for you. Like when I met you, you look like Lamar Odom. Like, babe, don't laugh at that. I'm trying to be funny. Babe. Ain't nobody gonna f with you about that, you heard me? You can laugh if you want to. You gotta walk out the room.
Now, who he's calling babe and who he's talking to is, of course, Brittany Renner. Okay. Brittany Renner is also on the show Basketball Wives. So she is directly connected to a lot of people who have connection to Savannah James. So she, you know, even though she's giggling, did not want to be a part of the conversation of him laughing about this because it can jeopardize what she has going on. Right. And so he's like, kind of like, well, ain't nobody gonna mess with you. I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm here to protect you. And ironically, as much as, you know, Kevin Gates has so much to say about the likes of a Savannah James, you know, we can talk about Brittany Renner, the woman who he is owning up. Okay. The woman.
Oh, River, what you about to do, River? River, what you about to do now, baby? What you River, what you doing?
Who Deion Sanders was warning other younger men to avoid when they get into a certain level of experience, okay, within their careers.
Because we got to kind of show these guys the other side of game. And that's why you gracefully blessed us with your presence so they could understand from your point of view how this game is played.
Brittany Renner, who has been on, you know, different shows, platforms, conversations, owning who she is, and has just now made a come around. You know, there is more provocative pictures on the internet from Brittany Renner than there will ever be of a Savannah James.
There was a video that I did in my car where I was talking about how I had sex with, was it 3 men in a day?
Yes.
And then I ended up getting a yeast infection.
Yes.
I came out pretty unscathed for just a yeast infection.
So in one regard, while you are criticizing or talking about the likes of this woman,
we not gonna skate past that. We're not gonna skate past that. She said she let 3 dudes get on in a day and caught the major man. You said that in public. You admitted that in public. I get why some people lie. When that's your truth, I get why some people lie.
Off of just the way that she looks at him or appears to have looked at him in certain times, a lot of people can talk about the fact that Kevin Gates is actively playing stepdaddy. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real, no shade at all. I'm just being really honest. I like you up. And so, of course, we know that LeBron obviously got wind of this conversation, as did Savannah James, and this was LeBron's response. He posted a picture of, you know, Savannah smiling at him. And he captioned it, "Kings don't concern themselves with the opinions of peasants. Where to next, queen? Let's get it." And of course, she posted this on her story.
Child. Anyway, so what? Child. Anyway, so what?
We don't need to talk about this. Okay. Anyway, moving on. You know, and I don't blame her for that. Now, obviously, because they responded, Kevin Gates actually ended up also responding to what they had to say.
Ain't gotta say no name. Say no name. How y'all doing? You heard me? I'm on my way to have coffee. Coffee spelled backwards is Eve. And before we've had our coffee, we don't give Eve about anything. But I just want to say one thing. The truth hurts, but it heals. And Braun, I love you because you my. And I already know she was. You didn't let him talk. Yeah, you had to. But behind closed doors, you good game. But anyway, look. As long as you being celebrated, I don't care who don't like you. As long as you being celebrated, that's all I care about. Because you and I love you. So I don't care if I got to fall out with somebody I love to get the results. We're gonna get the results.
So basically, he's saying, you know, that he had the conversation. He said what he said. He stands on it. And, you know, as long as he's getting the love and admiration that he deserves as a person, then cool, right? Mission accomplished, right? It's not that he's, you know, trying to create this animosity between the two of them. He just stated how he feels, his opinion, and he's just moving forward. Now, I mean, this is the thing. I think that there's 2 things that can be true at the same time. I think that what Kevin Gates was saying can have merit to the fact that there are men who maybe have finances, maybe have funds, maybe are in certain places that are deemed as like the number one guy or the boss or whatever, that are in relationships with women who do not respect them, right? Or who talk down to them, or who look at them a certain way, or who, you know, have absolutely no admiration for them. And then you have other men who are in different spaces who, whenever they are in a relationship with a woman, that woman admires him to the utmost, right? So I agree 100% on what he's saying. I agree on the picture that he was trying to paint. But again, I think that it's going to fall on deaf ears when, number one, we're looking at who you're with. Okay, even though you're talking about a certain level of admiration, we're still looking at the person that you are in a space with and what we've seen from that person from their past. And then we're looking at this situation where we've only seen this person be or show, you know, certain types of positivity, regardless of if they've had certain situations happen or what have you.
Yeah. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in, man. Let's bring it in. So yeah, all in all, I think it was a lot of trolling involved. You know what I'm saying? Relevance is a thing that, you know, people who live off entertainment must maintain. You know what I mean? And knowing Kevin Gates and being a fan of his music and stuff like that, he probably felt like it was a lot of truth to that. But I don't know that Savannah ain't as solid as they get, man. Like when you think about like holding the position of a wife, regardless of whatever stuff we don't know about it, I think it speaks volumes that we don't know about it. Whoever in here, drop a 333. Let me see you in the chat, man. What's happening? What's going on? So yeah, so that was the reaction video, man. Shout out to River TV. I'll put a link to the description. I'll put a link to her page in the description so y'all can tap in with River TV as well. But we finna move on into the question of the day. Question of the day. All right, let me get it situated, man. Question of the day. What we got today, man? What we got today? Y'all gonna like this one for sure. Let's see. What is it? Oh, man. Oh, this a tough one. So the question of the day. What's the return on investment for dating a modern woman? What's the return on investment? Let me say that. Let me get that queued up, man. What is the return on investment for dating a modern woman or modern women? So this is a question that was posed in a conversation I was having with a buddy of mine. And he was saying that, you know, largely, yeah, he, you know, would like to be in a relationship, but he finds it hard to find women that exhibit certain characteristics and values that he's looking for. And I was like, well, you know, I said, don't you feel like there's, you know, you could take the patient approach, get with somebody that you got a level of alignment with, and y'all kind of, you know, grow together, mold, you know what I'm saying, mold yourselves, woo, woo. And he was pretty much saying like, well, you know, he don't really want to put in that investment just to find out somebody's not pliable or, you know, can't really be molded or led, which brought me to the question. When you use the word investment, it made me think about that, because when you look at it for men, from the male side of it, women are most definitely an investment for sure. Not that men aren't an investment for women. It's not what we're talking about. So we can get to that, you know, but from the male side of it, women are definitely an investment for men. Not only a energy investment, a time investment, it's also a resource investment. And with that last piece being factored in, if you're a person who's going to date from a traditional model, then that resource piece of it, you know, becomes taxing if you're dating around, right? So sometimes you know, when you get to a certain point in your life, for some men, like my buddy I was talking to, he was just saying he in a space where he kind of wait and see a little bit before he even figure out if he want to make that type of an investment. So I said, well, then how do you take that approach? What if it's a chick that you see in the grocery store that you may or may not ever see again? He's like, well, I take my chances. I was like, damn. He's like, yeah, if I'm supposed to talk to her, I'll bump into her again. Maybe we'll be in the store at the same time or something like that. And but yeah, and then also too, I think the main difference from me talking to one of my homeboys about it and him having that approach is like he can afford to not sweat it. You know, I'm not finna divulge his age or nothing like that, but he's just like, I got all the time in the world. You know what I mean? And it's kind of true for men. We do have time. we got time. So I guess I asked, like, what would make a man want to get out the quote unquote get out the game sooner than later, you know, in today's dating climate. That's why the term modern woman is there. What's the return on investment for a man who's, you know, deciding to court and eventually pursue to marry a modern woman? You know, what is, and when I say so we're speaking in general, right? So by and large, what's the standard model modern woman come with as far as like character is concerned? Because physical, you know, attributes are everybody's preferences in regards to that, especially when it comes to us men. Men are different. Like, we don't all like the same chick. It's men that like women that are very, very petite, 110 pounds, and then you got men that like them thick. You got men that prefer BBWs. You know, so it's not even a physical thing. But from the modern woman, as far as a morals, principles, you know, etiquette, like what comes with that by and large, I think is the question. And so I don't know. I think the answer used to be something that men felt was worth the chase. I think the answer used to be something that men felt was worth the chase, because men would pursue. You know, they would pursue. They were asking to be married. You know, they were courting. You know, you used to have to tell a female you love her to get some of that cat. You used to have to tell her you love her. That's not the case no more, though. That's not the case no more. If you want to see her, you know, halfway undressed, you could just go to the gram for most of them, and you could see most of what you know would have had to work to see, you know, many years ago. So it's pictures that get posted on the gram daily that you used to have to do a month worth of spitting game to get sent to your phone privately. It's a fact. So the climate is totally different. So it's just like, when you ask, what are you getting? A lot of times the answer to that is probably a little bit unfortunate, which is why you see a lot of guys like tapping out as far as like getting too serious, making advances. I'm seeing a lot of trending information going around about, you know, conversations happening about why men are no longer approaching women in public. I even saw a post of a female talking about how she goes to these dating events and men never show up to the dating events. It's always just full of women and stuff. And I think part of the reason why you see a lot of men tapping out on like heavy pursuit and trying to like really, really invest. I keep coming back to that word invest, because we're talking about ROI, which is return on investment. For those who don't know, I think why you see a lot of people tapping out in regards to like heavily investing is because they feel like the return is not, you know, it's a bad investment. I had posed a question on my story on IG the other day about like asking dudes. I put it on my YouTube too, on my shorts, asking men that weren't married why they're not married. And I was asking people to answer. And one dude broke it down from a business standpoint. He was like, I don't sign contracts that don't benefit me, point blank and simple. And I had to think about it like, damn, does that contract benefit him? And I mean, if we got to be objective about it from the male side of it, no. Not not unless he's, you know, in a situation where, you know, some reverse hypergamy going on. But other than that, no, not for real. And that's why I think a lot of people are adopting the state of mind where it's like, men marry for love, women marry for business. That's what they say. I don't know if I wholeheartedly believe in that. I still believe there's round the way women who, you know, came up with some foundational principles, and they kind of, you know, maintain a certain level of discretion through the years where a lot of mistakes typically get made and they end up coming out fairly unscathed. I do think those women all around. I do. But you got to do some filtering. You got to do some threading through, some sorting through, for sure. For sure. Because again, it's a big investment. And so if all you ask in return for your investment is cooperation, consistent intimacy, and for a lot of men, probably, some food for the most part. If that's all you ask in return for, breaking your back and making sure everybody's straight, everything protected, all the threads are knitted, sewed, tied up, all the staples are clipped down, you know what I mean? Checking the boxes. If that's all you asking in return, when that's too much to ask, it becomes too much to invest, I think, for a lot of people. With me, I try to have these conversations as objectively as possible because it's in regards to, it's really about cracking the codes, right? So that's why y'all will hear me posing more questions on top of the question, because it's really just giving us all something to think about. We can come up with it together. That's why the chat is so important. The comment section is so important, because I love the breakdowns. I love to hear these breakdowns on what y'all think about these things. But what is the return on investment? And for the men, get into the comments and tell me, do you think that it's a solid investment? Like, to if you're a single man, you got your affairs in order, and you feel like, oh, it would be good to have somebody to share life with. Do you feel like at this point in time, courtship and like jumping off the porch and trying to like lock in with one is a good investment? By and large, do you feel like you rolling the dice, or do you feel like the odds are ever in your favor? I would love to hear y'all response to that in the comments, for sure. But yeah, man, all in all, my final take on the return on investment in the dating market is just, it depends on your process. If you have a poor vetting process, poor discernment, you know what I mean, it's going to be rough for you. The return on investment going to be trash. It's going to be 1,000% interest rate. You know what I mean? But if you got some discernment, a little bit of patience, and some discipline, I feel like you can make out good. I do. I feel like you could come out with a really good, appeasing result for yourself. But we about to move over into the code language segment of the live. Whoever just popped in, man, 333 in the chat, if you with me, shout out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But we finna move over into the code language segment of the live, man. Got to real quick. Let me get that queued up. How y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling? The chat been participating in and out. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of midday. A lot of people at work right now, but I got the time, so we're going to get y'all through y'all shift. Why not? Why not? Let's see. So we finna move over into the code language. That's not the code language for today. That was the last one. What we doing today? I'm excited to talk about this one. So code language for today, we talking about healing. Let me lock in. Get comfortable, man. Yeah, so it's so many different ways I can go with the subject of healing. But I'll just start like this, and then we'll just let the stream of consciousness flow. But when it comes to healing looks different for everybody. There are multiple different ways to heal. There are, multiple different paths to success when it comes to healing. And me personally, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think healing from everything is beneficial. Oftentimes, people's definition of healing, especially when it comes to emotional things versus like physical healing, oftentimes people's definition of healing involves a certain level of forgiveness that I don't always believe in. Mr. McBride, welcome back. He said 333. Yeah, I need you to talk with me on this one. Hey man, you gotta get on the video one day. You gotta pull up, man. I know you're gonna come in this joint crash straight out. But when it comes to healing, I think that it looked different for a lot of people. Like, for example, I know some people, myself included, who have done therapy and got some healing or some benefits from it for sure. But then I know people who have never even tried therapy who are completely against it and don't think it's necessary for anybody. I know people who, you know, find their healing in locating religion for the first time or the second time in their life, or finding their way back to whatever they was finding their way back to whatever religion they were raised in. I know some people who find their healing in that. I know some people who find their healing in losing, you know, dropping religion and becoming more spiritual and diving off into ancestry, history, more tribal and natural, holistic type practices, mind frames, and belief systems. So healing looks so different for everybody. But I think with this one is, let's start by discussing, how do you know that you need to heal from something in the first place? Right? How do you know that you need to heal from something at all? I think that step one to healing is always one of the toughest, no matter who you are. And that's just embracing the fact that you have something wrong, regardless of what it is. A lot of times we like to look at ourselves as that extra bright star in the sky, that, you know, that one diamond or that one carat that twinkles the brightest. We like to exalt ourselves or view ourselves in that lens. And some people are very modest, but yet and still we live with ourselves 24/7. And so to us, a lot of us are special, I would believe, especially in this part of the world. So I say that when it comes to healing, it's important just to really be honest with self about what adjustments could be made and what things could be, you know, slightly even just altered. It could be something that you doing that it's not even nothing wrong, but maybe you could do less of it or move the times around, or it could be something where you express yourself in this way, but it's because of what you went through when you were this age, and realizing that you able to kind of understand yourself better and express yourself differently. It's so many things. It's a lot of psychology to it, you know. But I think the best thing is for people to just be able to practice. And by practice, I mean literally practice. So every day for a certain amount of time, spend some time looking inward. And you may just see, sometimes healing is not even necessarily fixing something that's wrong. Sometimes healing just means operating at a higher level of something that you already doing. You can be looking inward and realize there's an area of opportunity here. I'm mediocre here when I have the potential to be elite. That's a form of healing to me. You know, just tapping in and getting, you know, getting closer to identifying self and then finding true purpose. I think that's what it really consists of. The difficult parts of healing is sometimes you gotta break away from a lot of things. It could be habits, it could be people, it could be career pivot, it could be a lot of things that need to be done, that are difficult to do, painful to do, that's going to get you closer to being a more healed, renewed version of yourself. At the end of the day, like I say all the time, I think everybody deserves a prime. So whatever tough things you went through, it was to fortify you so that you could be a strong, prepared version of yourself when you get to being the best version of yourself. But I think everybody deserves a prime. And so in order to ever get to be the best version of yourself, it is going to require some healing, because you had to get some wounds to become strong. So I think sometimes we can be victim minded, and I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in the victim mindset benefiting anybody. Even when you've been legitimately victimized, you got to find something in the experience to make it useful for your benefit. And that could be very difficult to do sometimes, but depending on your perspective and depending on how you set up, it's doable. It's doable. So, you know, I think that for me, going through healing, it always involves isolation. A lot of time spent with self, because one thing about healing, sometimes I have to recharge, and to recharge, I like to spend a lot of time with myself. I ain't never got on my own nerves, you know, ruffled my own feathers, bothered myself. So I like spending time around me. It feels good. And I get a lot done in regards to just, again, self-assessing, looking inward, processing things. And then I feel like, you know, I'm coming back in the game after halftime, you know, ready to have a big third quarter. That's how it feels after having some personal isolation or a personal retreat time to just do some working, some healing, letting go of some things. Just sometimes go into deep meditation and just breathe some energy away. Just breathe it off, whatever it is. But that's another conversation. We'll do a code language on meditation for sure. We'll do one on meditation for sure. But hopefully, man, y'all tap in with this, and this could provide y'all with some idea of like the process or what it's going to take to heal, and maybe even give you a different perspective on what healing really consists of. Because again, sometimes healing involves some purging. And so I think that's the part some people lose, and that's how you end up right back needing to heal again, because whatever is hurting you, you haven't let go of. I don't know who needed to hear that or why I said it, but yo, if you don't do nothing else, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all comment as you go along and rewatch the live. We got to have a conversation so we could crack these codes, man. And if y'all don't do nothing else, stick to the codes. Yes, Lord.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart.